welcome to tonight, Friday night's edition of another video blog. There's so much going on. We're going to keep doing this video blog format until things do settle down just a bit, and then we'll probably go back to the same old entry format that we have going on. Here is Hanna from earlier this evening. Just want to show you this visible satellite loop. It is pretty cool, very dramatic looking, this visible satellite imagery can be, and you can see Hanna rapidly developing, it seems, over the last several hours this evening, or earlier this evening, and I was starting to see a pretty big blow up of thunderstorms right around the center of the storm. That's a good sign that this thing is much, much better organized probably than it has been since it developed originally. You can see it approaching the southeast coast. Let's go to more real-time imagery here and show you what's going on, and we'll throw radar on because we have that data now since the storm is close enough to the coast at this point. And you can see the center of Hanna right here continuing to lift slowly to the north. Looks like it's going to make landfall somewhere around the North Carolina-South Carolina borderline here, maybe near Myrtle Beach. Probably between Myrtle Beach and Wilmington would be the best guess at this point in time. Lots of heavy rain associated with this. You may even start to see a little bit of a north-northeasterly component to this track as well. Hurricanes, again, remember tropical systems, they don't move in a straight line. They're not very smooth. They wobble a lot. They go back and forth, and they very rarely follow a straight line. This storm appears to be just one that's doing that. You can kind of see the center of it right here toward the middle. We've seen kind of an eye-like feature trying to develop on this storm throughout the course of the night tonight, but really hasn't. We'll take a look at our storm tracker Doppler radar. We've thrown on radar data from northern and central South Carolina here, and you can see some of this heavier rainfall. I'm actually going to step off camera here, and we're going to play around with this for a couple of seconds. You can see very heavy rain right along the coast, probably raining at close to an inch an hour anywhere you see the oranges here. You can see as we'll zoom you in into southern North Carolina here from Wilmington down to north of Cape Fear, seeing that. And down the coast we go, Myrtle Beach seeing heavy rainfall as well, all the way down the line to Charleston where it does start to light up just a bit. Let me show you our X-Vision. This, again, is 3D radar. Why don't we do this? We will take this off here, and we will draw a new one for you and show you what's going on. So we have your regular radar data. Again, there's Myrtle Beach right there. And if you kind of draw a line, here's the South Carolina coast. North is that way, pointing the arrow. So we're kind of tilted here just a bit. But I want to show you this because this is kind of cool to watch tropical systems with. You can see kind of the height of some of these thunderstorms. This first line right here is 20,000 feet up in the atmosphere. This is 30, 40, and 50,000 feet up, finally topping off around 60,000 feet. And you can definitely see we've got some really, really high radar echoes showing up here, way up there, talking about storm tops of 50, 60,000 feet, just to kind of give you an idea of how tropical systems look sort of in 3D. They are pretty impressive, and you can see back out over the water where things do begin to settle down, probably toward the center there. You can kind of see maybe right in the middle here, this may be the center of the storm at this point in time. You can kind of see there's no height, no vertical development to any of those showers. And you can see on the other side, you start to go back up again to about 30,000 feet or so. So tropical systems are cool. We'll use this if we do get a landfalling hurricane, maybe next week with Ike. That'll be something to look at. We'll talk about Ike in just a second. Let's talk about Hanna's track now. National Hurricane Center forecast, really unchanged from earlier today. Takes it up along and maybe just off the shore here, up the coast of Jersey into Long Island and New England, and races it on out of here by the time we get to Sunday morning. So well off to our east. For us, it poses a pretty tough forecast. I have to be honest with you, this is very tricky to determine. Let's talk about our microcast here, taking you through and into tomorrow morning. No problems in our area, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice clouds starting to encroach on southern sections of our viewing area. Watch what happens tomorrow, though. Notice rain, heavy rain, in fact, across Otsego County, and another band showing up just to the north and west of Utica. As we move this into tomorrow evening, watch what happens with that band. Well organized. Oranges, very heavy rainfall out there in some of these bands, and this will continue to move on out of here so that by the time we get to Sunday morning it's over, and by Sunday afternoon it clears out. This is just one computer model depiction of this system. Some of our others, many of our others in fact, are indicating that that band of heavy rain that we saw over Utica is actually going to be out here, well to our east. This is going to be a very, very close call. This is how much rain that model's spitting out. What we just showed you, 2.5 inches of rain in Utica, but notice, you go up to Boonville, a 1/4 inch of rain. Big time cutoff to this rain. So that's one of the most tricky forecasts we can have, because if this storm tracks, say, 10, 15 miles further west even than what it's forecasted to be, well, that pushes this rain shield a little bit further west by that much. So at this point, we do think that this is going to be about maybe 30, 40 miles further east, and we should be okay. In fact, our forecast for rainfall amounts looks like this. As we go into Sunday morning here, you can see we're talking about less than 1/4 of an inch to the north and west of Utica, 1/4 inch to an inch just to the south and east, and maybe across southern Otsego and into Schoharie County, 1 to 2 or 3 inches is possible, depending on how things set up. But notice, again, this boundary becomes very sharp, so any wobbles or changes to this, and that means a big difference in how things unfold tomorrow. Incidentally, heavy rainfall here across the urban corridor. Certainly going to see some heavy rain. Not quite as bad as 1999's Hurricane Floyd was, but certainly could be some pretty significant rainfall and some flooding in those areas. Again, a very tough forecast. This is all complicated not because of Hanna. We're not seeing Hanna from this rain. What we're actually seeing is Hanna's moisture out ahead of it interacting with a cold front that's trying to drop in. It's going to usher in cooler conditions by the time we get to late tomorrow night and into Sunday. So timing that as well, placing that front is another forecasting challenge. Very tough to forecast what we call these predecessor rainfall events that lead up to tropical systems. The heaviest rain from Hanna will pass into southern New England, well away from us. So either way, we don't need to worry about flooding, but it's just kind of a plan your day sort of scenario here. I would have an umbrella on hand for sure tomorrow, no matter where you are. Take it back out to the tropics now, well into the Atlantic. Here's Josephine, and Josephine, bye-bye. Just about gone at this point. It diminishes into a tropical depression, or is forecasted to diminish into a tropical depression and get on out of here, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Ike, however, is another story. Here's our satellite image. Major Hurricane Ike, winds 125, 135 miles an hour on this storm. Let's track it for you as we go out further in time. This one is going to grab headlines as we go into later this weekend. Ike is forecasted to weaken to a Category 2, but then strengthen again to a 3, and then eventually a Category 4 hurricane. And the official forecast track takes it right into Florida, specifically into the Florida Keys, something that we're going to have to watch very closely. You can see the computer model spread on this here. Each one of these lines indicates a computer model forecast track for Ike, and they're all kind of clustered somewhere near South Florida or the Florida Keys. So this is going to be a big story as we go into later in the weekend and especially into early next week. For now, we'll deal with Hanna. We'll keep you posted in the blog. Be sure to tune in. Bill Cardis will be in tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock with the very latest, and Jill Reel will be in tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, with the very latest at 6 o'clock. We'll keep you posted on this. Publish your reports here in the blog by clicking on the comments section below. Feel free to ask any questions if you have them as well. Enjoy your weekend.